Yennefer review. Yennefer review. Let's go. Hey guys, IceWire here, and today we're going to be talking about the Witcher Netflix series. So if you haven't kept up with any of the news surrounding the casting around the show, the casting for the main big characters, so Geralt, Yen, Triss, Ciri, has all been announced. Some behind the scenes photos have surfaced of Anya in full Yennefer garb, and we're just going to be talking about just how she looks and what I think of her personally, and also just a few of my opinions around some of the criticisms towards Anya as Yennefer. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first photo we got is right here. Now this is Anya behind the scenes, dressed as Yennefer. She's got her hair tied back, and honestly, I like how she looks. I think I might be in the small minority that doesn't really give a shit about the race of the woman playing Yennefer. Bit of a hot take, I'm sorry, but I don't care. The main thing that I am concerned about with Anya as Yennefer is how she plays the character. Can she, pull off, the general, main characteristics that Yennefer has in this Netflix show? That's what I'm concerned about. But regardless, when I look at her face, I'm happy with it. I mean, of course, this is just a behind-the-scenes picture. This is on a break, but I think she looks good. Now, the caption in the photo says that if you look closely, you can see that she's possibly wearing Yen's famous necklace, which that could be possible. I mean, it does have the similar shape to the necklace that, Yennefer is known for having. However, it could also just be the jacket zipper. So it's up to interpretation on whether you think that is her necklace or not. But just overall, her face, she looks good. Moving on to the next photo. So this is the first photo that I spotted of Anya in Yennefer's outfit. Then it's kind of hard to make out from the back, but luckily I did come across some much better photos. Your bitch is dedicated. I just want to say that. I'm dedicated to this shit. As you can see, there is a bit of an action scene happening right here. Yennefer's hair is down, and just from the coloration of the dress, how it looks, yeah, I'm getting some Yennefer vibes. Obviously, it's hard to tell from this position. Well, first off, I'm interested in what the hell is going on in here. Someone's on the ground unconscious. You got Mr. Jazz Hands over here looking intimidating, and then Yennefer over here looking equally intimidating from behind. Just overall, she has the general stance of a pissed off sorceress. Moving on to the next screenshot, we do have Yennefer standing with her hair tied up, watching over this woman in a red dress, who is holding what looks to be a baby. So, could this be connected to Ciri? Don't know. Is it just a woman with a baby? Maybe. Is the woman a sorceress? From the looks of the dress, probably. I would like to state right now that I am not familiar with any of the source material from the book. I only know this from the video games, but I have done my research on what the characters look like in the books. Just a disclaimer. Now, looking at all four of these images, I think Anya looks good in costume. I mean, we don't see too much of her face while she's actually in the costume, during scenes when they're shooting. Obviously because these photos were taken on the sly. But just from what I can see, she looks good. Now, onto the criticisms that Anya has received regarding her role as Yennefer. Now, if you're not familiar, there was a big fuss over the casting of certain characters in the Witcher Netflix series. I mean, first off, Henry Cavill, next future model for L'Oreal, because goddamn that boy's hair. Better than mine. Mine is just a messy, I throw it in a ponytail and hope for the best, whereas he looks like he has a sponsorship with Pantene. So there were some people upset over the casting of Geralt, but in particular, the thing that upset a few people were the castings for Yennefer and Triss. So the people that are going to be playing Yennefer and Triss, I can't remember the name of the woman playing Triss, but we're going to be talking about Yennefer in particular because we're not focused on Geralt or Ciri or Triss right now, we're talking about Yennefer. So the woman playing Yennefer is Anya Charlotte, like I mentioned earlier. And the main issue that a lot of folks have in regards to her casting is that she is not a Slavic woman. You know, she's a person of colour. And I have even seen some comments saying that she looks too Indian to play Yennefer, which just... Now when it comes to the casting, I am kind of, like, I'm indifferent to it. The main thing that I care about at the end of the day is whether or not she can pull off the role. Because these casting directors, they're not playing a diversity card when it comes to their main freaking characters. You don't just pick anyone and be like, oh, okay, let's hire this Asian woman for Triss because we need more diversity in the show. If you're casting somebody, it's about how well they can play this character. And I think that's a thing that goes over a few people's heads when they panic and see that a character that they've come to know so well personally for them is interpreted differently in a different form of media. They tend to panic and be like, wait, this isn't the character that we know. Why doesn't she look like how I have come to know her as, you know, or him as? However, it can get a little bit ridiculous when some people resort to just straight up being racist towards the actresses that have been chosen for Yennefer and Triss. I mean, looking at her now, like, if I put these two photos next to each other, I can picture Yennefer. Like, easily. I know a lot of people wanted Eva Green, and honestly, I was also in that boat too. I think she would have been top-notch yen. But we don't know how Anya's going to be in the role, so I'm kind of in the boat of let's wait and see what she's like, you know, playing Yennefer on screen before we start banging pots around and screaming. There's also been some criticisms that she is too young for the role, which... Let me explain a thing. You can't come across any more mansplaining about a book series that you haven't touched, Holly. Jesus Christ. But seriously, just hear me out for a sec. From my understanding, Yennefer is like 50 to 60 years old, but she uses magic to make herself look younger. Because, you know, sorceress. She can do that. She canonically makes herself look younger. So, casting Anya, who is a very pretty young woman, is that really such a stretch? I don't know, I personally don't see the problem because, I mean, Yennefer alters her appearance in the books to look younger, so I don't get the criticism at all for saying that Anya looks too young when you take that into account. Let's be really honest here. Now, I'm not saying there aren't beautiful 50 to 60-year-old actresses in the world, but I can guarantee that if, say, a 55-year-old actress, we'll say, was casted as Yennefer, there would be people upset and complaining that she doesn't look sexy enough, or that, you know, she doesn't fit their idea of how, you know, the beautiful, cunning, gorgeous Yennefer should look. Just at the end of the day, not everybody is going to be happy with the casting, and just with this particular thing, I don't think that Anya's looks, like her age, is a big issue. Just considering that Yennefer changes her appearance to look younger, I just don't see the issue. Now, the final thing that I do want to touch on in this video, now obviously you can tell from my opinion, is that, you know, I'm quite positive towards how Anya looks as Yennefer. Like, I'm open to seeing what she's like in the role, and, you know, I'm quite happy with how she looks. But there is one final note that I do want to make in this little discussion video on her appearance, and that is that this is a different interpretation of Yennefer than we're used to. Now, a lot of you are probably familiar with, you know, Yennefer's appearance in the books, and a lot of you are probably more familiar with Yennefer in The Witcher 3, like I am. That was my introduction to, you know, Yennefer as a character. I mean, I started playing The Witcher 2 when that came out, and that's how I got introduced to the franchise as a whole. But with Yennefer in particular, we met her in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, for those that follow the games. And I think a big part of why people are very upset about how Yennefer looks, not everybody is upset, but some people that are, a big part of why that is because we're so used to these very specific interpretations of Yennefer. For example, if you haven't read the books at all, and you've come from the games, you're a fan of the games, you picture this Yennefer this Yennefer on screen in your mind, and you're like, okay, that's the Yennefer I know. You picture that, and that's what you're used to. So seeing a different interpretation, a different face as Yennefer, kind of throws you off, and you're like, wait, that's Yennefer? Come on. It just doesn't fit her, in my opinion. That's not what I feel like she should look like. And I've been like that too with characters that I like as well. For example, when I was a teenager in high school, I read The Hunger Games, and I remember seeing the woman that plays Katniss, Jennifer Lawrence, on screen, and thinking, that's who they picked for Katniss? I mean, yeah, I'm not really a fan, but okay. And I remember really liking Katniss in the books. Like, I liked The Hunger Games a lot when I was a teenager, and I was very protective of how I felt she should be interpreted on screen. So I was a bit iffy towards Jennifer Lawrence when I first saw the films. And I feel like it's kind of a similar situation here. Like, we're so used to seeing, you know, Yennefer and how she looked in the game. I'm using the game as an example here. I'm not discounting how she looks in the book. I just want to say that really quick. So we're used to seeing how she looks in the game, that having Anya come in and give us her interpretation. Well, first off, we haven't even seen what she really looks like. We got a promotional clip for Geralt, but we haven't seen anything of the rest of the cast. So this is just like a small smidge into what she actually looks like as Yennefer. And I feel like quite a few people are having the same issue that I had with Katniss, you know. You have an image in your mind from reading the books and, you know, seeing the description of the character, and then when it gets portrayed in, you know, a video game, for example, or a TV series, and you're just like, that's how they went about with casting her? I get it. I totally get that. There's also, of course, the issue of, you know, Slavic representation, which I think is really important. Like, Slavic people deserve to be, you know, interpreted on screen as something other than, you know, criminals or prostitutes. That's so important. I cannot stress how important that is. And I also do agree with some choices within the casting of other characters where I feel like there should be more of that Slavic representation. And, you know, I don't agree with certain castings. But in the case of Yennefer, I am willing to give her a chance. They picked her for a reason. They don't just pick her because, oh, she's Indian. Diversity card. They pick her because of their acting skills. I don't know, guys. I feel like we should give her a chance. We should give the cast a chance to really prove themselves and show us that they can be a good Geralt, be a good Yennefer, be a good Ciri. And then if they're shit, you know, we can go ahead and poop on them all we like. Anyway, that's just my quick little opinion on the casting for Yennefer and how she looks, and these behind the scenes snippets, and also my opinions on the criticisms. As you can tell, my opinion on Anya is overall pretty positive. I'd love to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you okay with Anya's casting? Are you not okay with it? How do you think she looks as Yennefer? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Why? For each of those reasons, let me know down in the comments below. Please be civil. That's all I ask. Let's be constructive here. No name calling or anything like that. Let's just discuss this character, her actress, and, you know, the shit we talked about, basically. Consider supporting me on Patreon, as it feels to go for my content's quality and the variety and production of said content that you guys get to see all here on the channel. And of course, a massive thank you to my current patrons, of course. They are Cosmoronic, Nicholas Montoya, Caroline Richardson, Cooladora, and Kay. And if you want to see your name shouted out at the end of the video like these guys, do hop over onto Patreon and have a look around at the cool rewards on offer. Anyway, it's IceWire signing off, and I'll see you birds later next time on the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day / night wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!